Ladies and gentlemen, it is a tremendous honor for me to be speaking here tonight on behalf of Yeshiva Beragola, an institution that's been around for so many decades and that has educated so many boys and girls from our community, bringing about excellence in education. Baruch Hashem, so many of their alumni are successful in every field: doctors, lawyers, accountants, rabbis, rebbitzins, you name it, every field that a person can get into, Baruch Hashem, Beragola has produced. So I want to share with you a very short message, something that pertains to men and women alike, especially people that have children in today's generation. We do live in a very tough generation. So many challenges. I always say that if you take all the jobs that we have and put them on one side of the scale, then put raising a child on the other side of the scale. Take all the jobs. A doctor, a lawyer, a jeweler, OT, CT, PT. You put them on one side of the scale and just raising one child properly. It's much harder raising one child than all those jobs combined. Today's generation is very challenging. So many yetzer haras out there, so many different things that are taking our kids away from us and we don't even realize it. The phones, the computers. So many challenges that our kids have today that they didn't have 20, 30, 40 years ago. It used to be when a parent tells a child something, they would say, "No problem, Abba. Yes, Ima." Today it's a different world. But today we're going to share some tips. Be'ezrat Hashem, it's going to help us maybe have a stronger home, a home of communication, a home of simcha, Be'ezrat Hashem. First of all, I want to begin with a very short story. There was once a mayor of a certain city. He was shopping with his wife. They went to this clothing store, and then they went to that store, and eventually they found themselves at a shoe store. They're looking to buy some shoes for each other. So the guy's looking for shoes in this corner, she's looking for shoes in the women's section. And then after a couple of minutes, the husband, the mayor of the city, he notices that his wife had an extended look at the shoe salesman. She looked at him at an extended period of time for a few seconds, which he wasn't comfortable with. So he walks over to his wife and he gives a little bump on the shoulders, like, "Hey, what's going on?" And his wife had a little smirk on her face. And she tells her husband, "I want you to know that over 20 years ago, I dated that shoe salesman." So the husband looks at his wife and he tells her, "Could you imagine, had you married him, you would be the wife of a shoe salesman?" And the wife, with the chokhmah, responded to the husband as follows. She said, No. Had I married him, he would be the mayor of the city. Morai v'rabotai, many times women don't realize how much of an impact they could have on their husbands and their children. They say that the man is the head of the house, but the wife is really the neck of the house. She's able to guide the husband. Many men today, Baruch Hashem, are working very hard. But is there any limud Torah? Do they learn Torah at all? The children go to yeshiva and they hear about the importance of learning Torah, the importance of tzedakah, the importance of chesed. Do they see their fathers doing it? It's really incumbent upon the wives, the mothers, to push the husbands to go to classes, to shiurei Torah here and there, to encourage your husbands to give tzedakah and do it in front of your children that you should see it, to be involved with chesed projects, so the children can see, "Oh, we learned about chesed in yeshiva and our father's doing it." "Oh, we learned about the importance of Tehillim and our mother's reading Tehillim." We learned the importance about getting involved with helping others. "Oh wow, my parents are helping out their neighbors." But a lot of this starts with the wife, with the mother. She is either the akeret habayit, she's either going to be the one that's going to be the foundation of the house, or chas v'shalom okeret habayit, the one that uproots the house. In Hebrew, akeret means the foundation, okeret means uproots. The wife has such a power in the house. You need to encourage your husbands to go learn, to be involved in community projects. Because if you push your husband, they'll do it. If you don't push them, they'll sit at home, they'll watch television, they'll watch sports, they'll watch the news. And chaval, so much time, so many hours of the day, so many hours of the week, of the month just go to waste. With that being said, Morai v'Rabotai, I want you to understand one thing. As one that deals with a lot of couples, and as one that deals with many public school students, I would say most of my day is dealing with couples and public school students. Yes, I deal also with yeshiva students, and I also deal with giving shiurim, but I put a lot of my time into this. And I can tell you one thing. One of the problems that goes on in many of the homes, religious homes, not yet religious homes, traditional homes, one of the problems that goes on is a lack of communication. Like I said, we live in a very challenging generation. So many problems. So many issues. I mentioned the internet before. It's only a small drop in the ocean. Yes, it's contaminating so many children's minds. But besides that, the peer pressure in the streets to go to certain places, to try out different things. A lot of pressure for the kids today. You have to have communication with your children. The kids must see communication with the parents. This is what's going to bring about a better chance to overcome the challenges that we have today. I always tell parents, when your child comes off the bus, many times, we're busy, so the mother picks up the child, the father does, and they're on their phone as they're walking back from the bus stop to the house. We don't realize the precious time, that 2-minute walk. You could talk to your daughter, to your son. Sarales, tell me, how was school today? Shimon, what went on in class? What'd you play? What'd you eat? Who was bothering you? Just get the kids to open up to you. How was the bus ride? Are the kids behaving there? And they saying, oh mom, you won't believe what this kid did in the bus. He hit him, she did this, he did that. And they're opening up to you. And then you warn them, please, my dear son, my dear daughter, stay away from trouble. Don't be around these kind of kids. And every day, that 2-minute conversation on the way back from the bus, it causes your child to open up to you. You're having supper, put the phone away. Talk to your children. Let them open up to you. When they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, let them communicate with you. You know why it's so important? Because then when they're 13, 14, 15 years old, and they're having their first challenge, major challenge, someone's introducing something to them that they know is wrong. The child is saying, should I do it, should I not? And next thing you know, he closes his bedroom door. He doesn't know what to do with himself. Now you as a parent, now come knocking on the door. Hey, Jonah, my dear son, open the door. Tell me what's going on. No, Dad, leave me alone. Open the door. No, Dad, don't bother me. Now you're saying, come on, talk to me. And the child's thinking, talk to you? Who are you? Why should I talk to you? You haven't talked to me for the past 10 years. Yeah, you took me to vacation. Yes, you got me this game. But communication? I can't open up to you. I can't tell you my challenges. But what if you were the type of parent that talked to your child when he's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and he always opened up to you? That when he has that first challenge, when he's 13, when he's 14, and you're knocking on the door, you know what? There's a greater chance he'll open up to you. He said, Dad, you know what happened today? Someone suggested I take a cigarette. Someone offered me this. Someone told me to do that. Because they're used to talking to you, they're going to open up to you. But if you don't communicate with them when they're children, chaval, you're going to have a tougher time when they're teenagers. This, Rabotai, is a very, very important key in raising children today. It's not about having this huge house with chandeliers and 3 cars in your driveway. It's about communication. Communicate with your children. That will bring the greatest form of happiness. That will bring a connection between you and them, a bond that's unbreakable. In fact, if you look at the word mishpacha. Mishpacha in Hebrew means family. And you take the word simcha. Simcha in Hebrew means happiness. You'll notice that mishpacha, family, and simcha, happiness, have the same exact letters. But the word mishpacha has one extra letter. What letter is extra? Mishpacha has a letter pei. So mishpacha and simcha have the same letters, only mishpacha has one extra letter pei. What does the word pei mean in Hebrew? Pei means mouth. Everyone wants to have a happy family. A mishpacha that's simcha. What is the key to have a family that's happy? It's the pei, it's the mouth. Like I said before, it's not the chandeliers and not the swimming pool in the backyard. That's not what brings a happy home. It could bring happy moments, but that's not what creates a happy home. A home to be a house of simcha, communication. Talk to each other. Open up to each other. Put the phone away when you're sitting together at the dinner table. It's not easy. I know everyone's a CEO of a big company. But Rabotai, the greatest job you have is not the company that you run, or not the doctor that you are, and not the law office that you're, Baruch Hashem, in charge of. Rather, it's your children. We have to invest our time into our children. Yes, you send your children to yeshiva. Beautiful. Yes, Baragola will give your children the best possible chinuch education you can get. But don't rely on the yeshiva. You got to be a partner with the yeshiva. You got to work together with them. If you want things to work, you got to work as a team. You got to work as a team. You got to communicate with the teachers, with the Rabbi, with the rabbis, about what concerns you have about the children. And they'll tell you what the best advice is, how to deal with that issue. Communication between you and the staff of the yeshiva. This is something, Morai v'Rabotai, that we all have to take to heart. If you haven't done it thus far, start today. Start today. Like I said, the woman, you have a big power. You have a tremendous koach to influence your husband, to learn Torah, to be involved with the community, to do chesed, to do tzedakah. Encourage them. Be partners with them in this endeavor. Let your children see how your husband is sitting at home and reading a book of Torah. Today you have books interpreted in Russian and Spanish and English, any language you want. Let the children see how you're reading Tehillim. Let them see how you're involved with community activism. And when they see this, they'll say, wow, this is what we learned in yeshiva, and my mother and father are also doing it. That's amazing. That's the greatest form of inspiration. And on top of that, like we said, communicate. Talk. Don't be scared to talk to your children. The younger they are, the better it is, because when they get older, they'll be used to talking to you. And B'ezrat Hashem, instead of them getting advice from their friends in the streets, they'll be getting advice from their parents. Rabbi, there's a lot to say about this topic. But B'ezrat Hashem, we'll have more shiurim in the future. In the meantime, I encourage everyone to take this message to heart. Take this message to heart about realizing the influence you can have on your family by simply communicating properly. You know, they always say a joke that you can have a husband and a wife sitting in a room, and the wife sneezes, and the husband texts her, bless you. No communication. Everything today is through phones and computers. We got to end that. We got to learn how to put it away a little bit and talk to each other. And B'ezrat Hashem, by having the proper communication, you will have a family. You're going to have a mishpacha that is full of simcha, full of happiness. Yiratzon Hashem should give you the strength and the inner wisdom to overcome the challenges of raising children in our generation. And B'ezrat Hashem, you should see nachat from all your children. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give you the zechut to see the weddings of your children, B'ezrat Hashem, to see their children, B'ezrat Hashem, and we should all be zochet to see the coming Mashiach Tzidkenu. B'mera b'yameinu, amen ve'amen.